Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all having a wicked day. Welcome back to the videos, and today is going to be a very exciting one. We are getting ready to completely strip the EVO of all of its fueling system, all of its ECU, and all of its trigger system to bring it all into the 21st century and make this thing feel absolutely incredible. This is going to be a very cool little series where we're going to be taking my EVO 6, which is right behind me, just out here draining all of its fuel currently, giving it a little bit of a buff in power, a little bit of a buff in technology, and making this thing just one of the craziest cars that I have ever owned. So as I said, the EVO 6 is currently completely draining its tank because I'm not quite sure what the go is just yet, because we're gonna have to basically drop the tank. We're gonna have to be replacing the fuel pump. We're gonna be replacing the entire fueling setup and the ECU, and I'm hoping to get it all done in 2 weekends time, so 2 videos. It's gonna be pretty hectic. I'm really hoping I can get it all done by then, but I'm bringing you guys along for the journey. Fingers crossed we can get it all done. But I think it's time we bring the EVO into the workshop. I'm excited. I just took it for its very last drive, and I am so keen to rip into this thing. I want to work on it so badly. All right, let's do it. So if you guys don't know, this is my EVO 6 GSR. We picked it up roughly about 5 or 4 weeks ago maybe, and it has been one of the craziest cars I've ever driven. It is beautiful, the gear ratios are so short, the thing just rips through gears, just it's just, everything about it is so sick. However, there has been a few issues that have plagued this car. Unfortunately, we did realize there was an issue with the coil packs. These right here are a set of Denso Yaris coil packs, and unfortunately, and I knew for a start that this car needed to be serviced before I started driving it hard, and the first weekend I got it, I went out, I serviced it because we were trying to chase a misfire, which I already knew about when I purchased the car. And unfortunately, I couldn't get that misfire to go away. If anything, the misfire came back and it kept getting worse, and I've nailed it down to a faulty coil pack. So instead of going through and replacing the coil packs, and then kept driving the car around, I managed to get these coil packs to work a little bit, and I noticed very quickly that this car has had a very old tune that was done up in Sydney. So this car was an old Rigoli shop car, which is really sick. It's had the same tune for 7 years, which is pretty cool, until I started looking at the AFR gauge and finding out that I wasn't overly happy with how the AFRs were looking. It was looking a little bit lean, unfortunately, and so I decided, instead of chasing my tail and all the issues that plagues this car, which is this, and then, you know, the fueling system, which could be an injector, it could be a fuel pump, it could be the fact that it's running a standard fuel pressure reg, who knows. We've decided to change out the entire coil pack setup, to change out the entire fuel setup. And so at that point, I'm like, look, over time, I really wanted to get this thing back on 98, so that way I could take it on long cruises and, you know, not have too much worry with, you know, trying to find E85 everywhere. So that then upgraded to going flex fuel, and then of course with flex fuel, you need an aftermarket ECU. So anyway, this car has snowballed. In 2 weeks, I have gone from, I'm just going to quickly change out the coil packs and the injectors and get it retuned, to I'm going to redo the entire car exactly how I want it, and exactly how I did want it in about 6 months' time. It's progressed so quickly, and I'm going to let you guys know about everything we're going to be doing to the car over the next couple of episodes. I've just got all the parts out, which we're going to be installing on the EVO, and it makes me so incredibly happy. All this stuff behind us is all going to get installed on the EVO, hopefully this weekend and next weekend, and I am very stoked. So before I jump into all of this incredible stuff right here, we'll start at the very top. I actually picked up myself a brand new fog light, because unfortunately when I got the EVO, the light was actually missing, like the glass section. So I bought this one secondhand. It was expensive, it was 300 bucks, but I could reuse the glass on this one here. So I'm gonna try and find a way to separate that. But directly underneath it right here, we have a Haltech Elite 1500 courtesy of Itaku Garage. This right here is going to be absolutely incredible for everything that we are going to be doing to the EVO. I also picked up an EVO 6 patch harness. It comes with an IAT sensor, and also I picked up a rotary dial, which is something new that I have never had before. It's going to be very, very fun. The rotary dial is going to allow me to adjust my boost levels. So what I'm going to do, so that way if I take it to the track, I can wind it down a little bit. So that way we're not pushing it too hard on the stock bottom end of the 4G. But then if I want to chop someone on the highway, we can wind it all the way up to 25 PSI, smash them out of the water. And then also I can adjust the boost for if we're running E85 or 98, which is going to be sick. Along with the Heltec right here, we're going to be running a whole bunch of stuff. Thank you to PT Motorsports. So all of these guys are going to be linked down below as well, so you guys can go check them out and their amazing work. We're going to be running the Can Checked gauge by PT Motorsports. This right here is my favorite gauge that I've run in every single one of my cars ever since I had the R33. It is absolutely brilliant. It's around $400 and it is a 52mm can gauge. But not only that, it's a Heltec IO expander as well. So what we have right here is an entire wiring loom, and that is going to allow me to also hook up oil pressure, oil temp, coolant pressure, and then also it's going to be doing fuel pressure as well, which for fuel pressure, I actually had this lying around, which was actually originally supposed to be for the last RX-7. I picked up a Turbo Smart FPR 800 and it's already got a Siltec sensor already installed, so I'm pretty stoked about that. And this is where we get to the main sponsor of today's video and of the Evo, and that is Racework. You guys have seen me use Raceworks for years and years and years now, and I am very, very happy to announce that I am officially working with Raceworks on the Evo 6 build. I've known the guys for a number of years and I finally met them in person at one of our YouTuber meets. They are just incredible people, and the fact that I've used them before on pretty much every single one of my builds, everything from injectors to fuel rails to everything, the most notably the single turbo conversion that we did on my first RX-7. I used Raceworks parts so often throughout that entire build, and to have them on board is just incredible. So let's quickly run through all the parts that Raceworks has supplied for the Evo. I reckon for sure we need to do some cool little Raceworks livery or something like that across the bottom of the doors. I think that would look absolutely sick, but let me know what you guys think. So first of all, when it comes to the fueling system, what we have right here, these right here are a set of genuine Bosch 1000s, which Raceworks supplied for me, which is incredible. We also have two Raceworks fuel pumps. We have a 38 and a 39mm because we didn't know exactly which one we were going to be using with the Evo, which one fit better. So we're going to be checking both of those out and sussing that out. Plus we also have a fitting kit for the Evo specifically. We have a Raceworks fuel filter. We have two 1/8 MPT block-offs for the FPR 800. This right here is our flex fuel sensor. Thanks to Raceworks, we are going to be running flex fuel on this car. My first ever car with proper flex fuel. My first Falcon had the ability to run E85 or 98 because of PCM tech. But this car here, I'm going to be able to put whatever fuel I want, whether it's a mix, whether it's full E or full 98, I can run either one, and that is just incredible. I'm so stoked. We also have this beautiful 4G63 fuel rail from Raceworks as well. And this is one big beautiful piece of billet aluminium that's going to be housing all of our injectors. That's just so cool. So cool. Now we haven't got any of the lines just yet, but Raceworks is also going to be supplying all of the lines for this Evo. But what we're going to do is we're going to put basically everything mocked into location, so that way we can get all of the lines for this thing. So how we're going to build all the lines is the next question. We have this absolutely insane little vice thing. I wouldn't have a clue. But if you guys have seen me literally on my garage floor pushing Teflon lines in, this thing is going to be going all braided lines. So no more am I going to be having to push braided lines in on the ground and making an absolute mess of my fingers because they just come out all bloody and horrible. We actually have a tool to build AN lines now, which is absolutely insane. They also supplied this beautiful billet AN wrench, AN shifter, and a whole bunch of these incredible little billet Raceworks AN tools. I'm gonna just get these things out real quick. Oh my god. This is like the thing of dreams right here. When this package turned up, properly cried. Like it is just my absolute dream. Coming down here as well, we also ended up picking up the Raceworks 4G63 R35 coil conversion kit. So it comes with this beautiful billet aluminium base plate, as well as genuine Hitachi R35 coils. These things are beefy as hell, and they are going to suit the Evo so much to make sure we can handle all of the boost all of the time. Raceworks coil loom as well, which is sick. Moving down to the serviceable items right here. BMC air filters also hooked it up with a fresh filter as well, and she's carbon fiber on the end, so that's sick. We also have a couple of little silicone joiners, so that way we can fix up some of the ones in the bay, plus some Denso Iridium spark plugs right here, which is sort of for the Evo and then one step colder than the 4G. And then this thing right here. You guys will know how much I love wiring, and we're gonna have to do so much wiring in this car right here. Even though I do have all those looms which are pre-terminated down there, I'm probably gonna have to do a fair bit of wiring. I have managed to get my hands on the coolest Deutsch connector kit in the world. Sarah thought I was weird as hell, and I'm a complete nerd for getting it. However, we have a Raceworks Deutsch connector kit, which is just insane. We have two massive Deutsch connectors right there, so we can re-terminate the ends of the coil harness, because I want to try and upgrade that to a Deutsch connector kit. But this is going to allow me to do whatever I want when it comes to this car. I'm so excited. That's all the parts, that's everything. If you guys do want to grab anything from Raceworks, you can get it from pretty much any major retailer. If you guys go and use the link down below, it would really help me out, because that way we can see just how many of you guys are checking out Raceworks parts. And not only that, you guys might remember a couple of years ago, TJD was actually one of the guys that helped me rip out the box on the RB25, and since then, he has been an incredible friend to me. He's just started up his own performance workshop in Gold Coast. So if you guys need any performance work done, or Raceworks parts, or parts in general, go check out TJD Automotive down below. You can grab anything Raceworks down there. Go check it out. You guys will not be disappointed. Let's start stripping this thing out. Oh my god. Oh, that's bad. Look at this. Take the adapters out for now. Look at this. That definitely could have been my issue. That's so gummed up. Ooh. It's the whole reason I've decided to... Oh, I'm so glad I'm replacing these. Holy. This one's the exact same. That is so crazy. That one's the same again. That's probably the worst one yet. That is the dirtiest set of injectors I have ever seen. Look at this. I don't know if you can see the top of that. I don't even know how fuel is getting through that. Well, there you go. Oh my god, that's gross. That's hectic. All right, so I got the feed line out, and all of this stuff is all out of the way now, and it's all starting to look really, really nice. We have the return line back down now. I also have the charcoal canister out, so I can try and work out exactly what I want to do with my fuel. What's my hair doing? I got no clue. Either way, charcoal canister's out the way. The Raceworks fuel filter, I was just mocking up and having a little bit of fun to see what I could do with it. So if I get to that box real quickly here, this is the fuel filter, and what I was thinking about doing is the charcoal canister fits just about here, but they have a whole bunch of holes there, so I could just mount it something along those lines, and then you have the feed right there and the fuel filter right there, which would be wicked. So the best thing also about the Raceworks fuel rail for the Evo is it has this little thing right here, and what this is you can actually adapt this directly to the feed line. So if you guys can see, right there, adapts directly to the feed line. All of a sudden, your feed for the Evo is all -6, which is wicked. So, yeah, I was amazed at that. I would thought I'd have to make like some weird little adapters and stuff like that. Turns out, it's flawless. So yeah, I went onto the Evo forums as well. I also found out about these little things up here. So this box right here is actually a fuel resistor, a fuel injector resistor. So I'm learning all this today. Standard injectors that come in EVOs are what's called low impedance, which what that means, I don't know. But either way, we don't need a resistor for the EVO because the Bosch 1000s that we're putting in are high impedance. So that means we can get rid of that entire horrible section at the back there, which is going to be perfect because that is exactly where I wanted to mount my fuel pressure reg and my flex fuel sensor. So that's perfect. I'm going to rip that all back out now, and it's going to look much nicer off the back of the engine bay there. Resistors are probably the easiest thing to wire up. So that's the stock resistor. What I'm going to do is we're just going to chop both those lines right there. Let's get rid of this for now. Strip both of these back. And then all you're going to do is connect them together. And then that will send a full 12 volts to whatever you were trying to resist in the first place. Which is sick. Beautiful. Now I'm just going to crimp them together. And Bob's your uncle. We have stopped that resistor from resisting. Alright, the FPR 800 is all plumbed up, ready to go. So I've just blocked off that side there with a 1/8 NPT block. We've got the Siltec pressure sensor. We also have the inlet and the outlet at the bottom there. Yeah, I actually think we'll be changing the inlet and outlet. Probably shouldn't put this in too tightly for now. Alright guys, so this is what the engine bay is currently looking like. I'm pretty much just like measuring out everything at the moment and sort of seeing where I like things sitting. The outlet for the fuel will be going straight up into the Raceworks fuel filter, straight to a 90 degree. We're going straight across the engine. Basically have it sitting across the front and into the fuel rail. Fuel rail will jut out to a 90 and then into the side of the FPR 800, which will then shoot the fuel down into my flex fuel sensor, which I've mounted on the manifold, and then it will go straight back and down into the return. So nice and simple. This setup isn't supposed to look pretty by any means. I just want to get the car working and running flawlessly. I really want to try and like clean up this engine bay as much as humanly possible, but everywhere that I've mounted stuff so far is going to be easily accessible for me if I have any issues at the track. So that's my plan anyway. So that's the goal, is if it's going to try and make this as simple as humanly possible, and then yeah, we can work on it and make it a little bit cleaner as time goes on. But that's going to be the easiest way to go about it. So the next thing we want to do, start building some injectors and start plopping them in. So as I said before, we are going to be running the Bosch 1000cc injectors, and these like the little extendo boys for the bottom. We don't actually need these. We just need the injector itself. And then on each one of them, we're going to be putting a full length extension on the very top here, right there, because these are a 3/4. And then on each one as well, we're going to be putting one of these on the bottom, which this will suit the manifold on the EVO. Cool. So that'll be going on the bottom, that'll be going on the top. And I have a little bit of oil right here, so I'm just going to lube up all the O-rings and she be mint. Everything should slide into place nice and easy. And yeah, then we can start mounting it. I think I might mount them into the rail and then I'll mount them onto the car from there. So I'm excited for this. This is absolutely beautiful. I'm going to quickly knock these out and should be good. Alrighty guys, the fuel rail is all set up. It's time to drop it in the car. So first thing we've got to do is basically we can reuse the OEM, that was my knees, what? We reuse the OEM hardware. We're also going to be reusing these two little spaces right here. And this is what's going to be spacing up the fuel rail. So we're going to jump around the front and we have everything mounted aside from that fuel rail. So let's get into it right now. And yeah, should be nice and fun and simple. Alrighty guys, light is fading fast. However, I want to do one more thing. The engine bay is pretty much back together. The only thing I have to do in here now is do all the wiring to the sensors that I have. To do the wiring to the sensors that I have to put the battery back in, and I have to do an air intake. Just for now anyway, we're going to be using the standard intake pipe, and then that's until we end up going and making up a full 3-inch system, which is going to put the filter down around here. All right, so I have the air filter, which is sick. I'm going to quickly grab a hose and we can chuck her on. And also it's slightly the wrong pipe, however, should be fine. But yes, it's definitely not sitting in the correct position for now, but that's completely fine. We'll deal with that when it comes to it. Well guys, we are making some great progress on the EVO. The air filter is now situated, and as I said, yes, we are going to make a much nicer one that's going to come up and put it into the proper location. Looks like it's a little bit like skewed at the moment, but that's all right. We can fix all that up. But yes, the fueling is basically done. All we have to do now is make some lines that goes between all the different things, and that's pretty much it. Everything in the engine bay is done. The only thing we have to do now is to put the wideband in. I want to double check if there's a wideband well underneath the car, because it looks like the AEM wideband that I have is tied into the dump pipe here, and it's routed up and through the standard wiring. I don't think that's the case, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to backtrack through where that wideband is that I have in the car already and see where exactly that routes to, and then I can pick it up from there. So yeah, pretty stoked about that. And then yeah, pretty much just wire the whole lot. I don't have any wire here at the moment, but I have to quickly go to Autobahn, grab some auto wire. So in the engine bay, all we have to do is just wire up 2 sensors and put the battery back in and make some lines, and then we're done. One other thing I could do the coil bracket. Let's do that. I feel like that's gonna like make this, just make it so perfect. Let's do it. Another incredibly beautiful piece by Raceworks. Let's chuck her in. I'm not quite sure exactly how. Looks like it's gonna be that way there. Oh, sound quality. Beautiful. All right, let's quickly do these countersunk bolts in, chuck the R35 coils in, and yeah, it's pretty much done there. That's sick.
Top plafond.
Alright, so we'll double check with Jamie just how that wiring is, just to make sure that I've done the wiring correctly. However, that is the coil harness and R35 coil pack done. And it looks so sick. I'm gonna grab the light real quick so you guys can check out everything we've done today. The engine bay of this car is looking so much better with all the goodies, and it's ready to rock almost. We'll be there in a couple of days' time. So stoked. I'm loving that filter. Filter looks so sick.